Well, hey, Foothill. It's Monday, June 8th, and I know I was quiet last week. Didn't feel honestly like I had a whole lot to say. Not because I don't think there is stuff that needs to be said, but sometimes I think it's good for us just to quiet ourselves before God in response to things that are happening. And I certainly felt like that. I wanted to listen more than I talked, and I still feel that way. I feel like we're in a moment in our culture where maybe there needs to be more and not less of that. But I do want to encourage you today. Last Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, we had a prayer meeting, and we just sort of called it "Heal Their Land," and that came from a passage in Second Chronicles 7:14. And if you read Second Chronicles, there's the first part of it. Solomon prays, and he prays this incredible prayer. If this happens and this happens and this happens, God, will you hear? And God answers him at the middle of chapter 7 and says, God heard him and said, if these things happen to you, then listen. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then I'll hear from heaven and heal their land. But notice this, right? They're called by my name. So this is we could say in New Testament terms, this is the people of God. This is Christians. If those people will humble themselves, like genuinely approach God in humility. One thing you're going to notice is that even where we might look at the many of the writers of Scripture, they will very often lump themselves in and go, look, I guess in many ways we could say Nehemiah had nothing to do with what was going on in Jerusalem, and yet he says, I and my fathers have sinned. Daniel, I and my fathers have sinned. That they identify with what's gone before. There's a humility there where they come and say, God, I'm sorry, right? To one degree or another, the things that are happening in our culture and our world are not just because of somebody else's sin. I'm not just, and when we get angry, very often our anger is because we feel like it's somebody else's fault. And the biblical writers and those speaking very often are saying, no, it's me. And I want to start with me, and I want to humble myself before you. He says, if they'll humble themselves and seek my face, like seek my character, seek all that I am, like go after God, make God my priority. That's the idea behind seeking the face of God. I want to be, everything is before the face of God, and I want to seek him and I want to know him. And if they'll seek my face, then they'll humble themselves and seek my face, then I'll hear from heaven and heal their land. What a great promise. What we need more than anything, it's not saying if all of the people who hate God or don't believe in God or think God is nonsense will pray and turn. It's when the people of God do that. So Christian, we have a responsibility in this cultural moment to stop, to humble ourselves, to pray on behalf of our culture. This is also one of the commands of Jeremiah 29, that we seek the welfare of the city and pray for it. That we would pray and we would seek the face of God when it comes to what's happening in our world right now. So let me encourage you to do that we would be people that will seek God's face, humble ourselves, pray, seek his face, and pray that God would heal our land. But that starts with us. Be prepared for how God's going to challenge your heart and my heart in the coming weeks of how we can play a part in seeing the healing of our culture. Love you guys. I promise you I'm gonna be talking more this week just to encourage your hearts. But in the meantime, have a great day. Love you, and we'll talk to you hopefully on Wednesday.